Civilizations have been building communities for thousands of years. One of the largest evolutions in urban planning was the creation of the skyscraper, a tall, continuously habitable building. Let's explore the geography of skyscrapers in this week's episode. Creating tall structures has always been a feat of civilizations. Nearly 5,000 years ago, the Egyptians built the Great Pyramid of Giza in the year 2570 BC. It was the tallest freestanding structure in the world at a height of 481 feet. But what made it so iconic was that it remained the tallest for 3,800 years, until the completion of the Lincoln Cathedral in the United Kingdom in 1311. From that time until the 19th century, many of the world's tallest and taller structures were cathedrals, primarily in Europe. By the late 19th century, a new type of structure, a skyscraper, began to appear. Skyscrapers emerged in the late 19th century as a response to urban growth and technological advancements, especially in the United States. The first skyscraper, the Home Insurance Building in Chicago, was completed in 1885 and utilized a steel frame structure, allowing buildings to rise taller than ever before. As cities like New York and Chicago grew, these towering structures became symbols of economic power and innovation. The development of elevators, fireproofing techniques, and modern construction materials further fueled the rise. By the mid-20th century, skyscrapers evolved into iconic landmarks, defining city skylines and becoming global symbols of architectural achievement. Currently, skyscrapers are common in cities throughout the world, but the geography of where the most or where the tallest are is differentiated, as some countries feature more than others. In terms of Earth's 6 habitable continents, each one has skyscrapers. However, some continents have significantly more than others. Let's start with the smallest of the 7 continents, Australia, also a nation. Australia has numerous skyscrapers, primarily located in its major cities: Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, and the Gold Coast. And virtually all the ones above 600 feet were constructed in the last 4 decades, with the majority of those being 21st century skyscrapers. Gold Coast, a tourist destination city, has many skyscrapers for commercial and recreational purposes, of varying heights, but is home to Australia's tallest skyscraper, the Q1 Tower, which opened in late 2005 as an exclusive residential complex. Aesthetically modern, it's said that its design was inspired by the Sydney 2000 Olympic torch. The tower is home to the Sky Point observation deck, giving the public a 360-degree view. Although the Q1 is relatively new, complaints arose in 2009 associated with disrepair and poor building conditions. The owners of Q1 were asked to rectify the problem the following year. Other than the Gold Coast, Melbourne, the second largest city in Australia, is home to 10 out of the 20 tallest skyscrapers in the nation, with Australia 108, a fully residential complex just completed in 2020, measuring 1,045 feet. Sydney, Australia's largest city, has the nation's 4th tallest skyscraper, Crown Sydney, also completed in 2020 and topping out at 889 feet. Westward, across the Indian Ocean, Africa was historically not home to many skyscrapers, but in the last 20 years, lots of construction has been associated with skyscrapers throughout the continent. The highest skyscraper in Africa is in Egypt and is the iconic tower in the new administrative capital, a new capital city being built 30 miles east of the nation's current capital, Cairo. The iconic tower is a mixed-use skyscraper of commercial and residential spaces and opened last year. The design of the tower is a mixture of traditional Egyptian design elements and modern ones. New El Alamein in Egypt is a new modern metropolis with its striking skyscrapers and high-rise developments along the Mediterranean Sea. Part of Egypt's bold plan to create new urban centers, the city showcases cutting-edge architecture, blending modernity with cultural elements. These skyscrapers are designed to attract both international investors and residents, offering luxury apartments, commercial spaces, and hotels. As a beacon of Egypt's urban development, New Al Ain aims to alleviate congestion in Cairo and promote economic growth by becoming a hub for tourism, business, and sustainable living. In South Africa, Johannesburg, the nation's most populated city, has several skyscrapers and is home to one of the continent's oldest ones, the Standard Bank Center, a futuristic design tower completed in 1968 and standing 456 feet. In developing African nations such as Nigeria, Africa's most populated nation, Lagos has many moderately tall skyscrapers. But Eco-Atlantic, a project started in 2014, is a future planned city that will feature many high-rises offering a mix of luxury residences, commercial offices, and hotels, attracting international investors and businesses. Europe is the most urbanized continent in the world, but many large cities aren't home to skyscrapers, including Rome, Athens, Vienna, and Edinburgh. The reasons for this were due to historic preservation laws, aesthetic preferences, or urban planning policies. However, skyscrapers have been making inroads onto Europe's landscape. Initially, some of Europe's oldest skyscrapers were Soviet-designed buildings, including Moscow State University and Hotel Ukraina in Moscow, and the Palace of Culture and Science in Warsaw, Poland. Currently, Russia leads Europe in skyscraper development and has Europe's top 5 tallest towers, with the Lakhta Center being the tallest in St. Petersburg at a height of 1,516 feet. The tower was completed in 2019 and was designed exclusively for office space and features a neo-futuristic design which has won praise for its innovation. Moscow is home to the other 4 tallest skyscrapers in Europe, with all of those being constructed in the last decade and featuring modernist design elements. Poland was heavily devastated by World War II and had to rebuild significantly afterwards. Warsaw, the most populated city and capital, was almost entirely destroyed during the war and had to be completely rebuilt. After the war, the Polish government embarked on an extensive reconstruction effort and rebuilt much of the city with communistic architectural design elements. One was a Palace of Culture and Science, a skyscraper gifted to the Poles by the Soviets and completed in 1955, topping off at 778 feet, making it the 8th tallest building in the world until 1961. After the end of the Cold War, Poland became a capitalist democracy and saw increasing GDPs and per capita incomes during the late 90s and early 2000s, allowing Warsaw to build modern marvels like the Warsaw Spire, Warsaw Tower, and Zlota 44. The Warsaw Tower, completed in 2022, stands as the tallest building in the European Union, at 1,017 feet. In other parts of Europe, cities such as Frankfurt, Paris, London, Madrid, Milan, and Istanbul have embarked on constructing skyscrapers, but the only 1,000 feet plus one is in London, with the Shard, a mixed-use skyscraper, topping off at 1,016 feet. On to the Western Hemisphere, South America doesn't have any skyscrapers above 1,000 feet, with the Gran Torre Costanera in Santiago, Chile, the highest at 984 feet. In the coastal Brazilian city of Balneário Camboriú, the Yacht House Residential Club is a residential skyscraper twin complex, which are both 965 feet in height, making them the tallest towers in Brazil. But a new ambitious project within the same community, known as the Sena Tower, an exclusive residential structure, is set to be constructed. If completed, it will be 1,670 feet, making it the tallest building in Latin America and the Southern Hemisphere, and the tallest residential building in the world, surpassing the Central Park Tower in New York City. Northward, in Central America, Panama City, Panama boasts one of the most impressive skylines in Latin America, with its modern skyscrapers lining the Pacific coast. The city's rapid development has transformed it into a bustling hub of finance and commerce, featuring iconic structures like the twisting F&F Tower and the Ocean Club Tower, offering a striking contrast to its historic colonial architecture. But Monterrey, Mexico is home to Latin America's tallest skyscraper, Torres Abacedo, measuring 1,002 feet. This tower is a mixed-use building which has commercial office space, residential dwellings, and is home to a Hilton Garden Inn. The United States and Canada are home to many skyscrapers of varying heights and ages. The United States, the nation that created them, has 840 skyscrapers above 490 feet, with New York City having 300 of those. While Chicago is where the first skyscraper was constructed, New York City has constructed hundreds of them from the late 19th century to the present day. The first large skyscraper constructed in New York was the Singer Building, an elaborately decorated building which was completed in 1908 and topped off at 674 feet, making it the tallest building in the world from 1908 to 1909. But the Singer Building doesn't exist today, as it was demolished in the 1960s and only held its reign as the world's tallest building for 1 year until the Metropolitan Life Insurance Tower was constructed at Madison Avenue and 24th Street and topped out at 700 feet. Then 4 years later in 1913, the Woolworth Building in downtown Manhattan was completed at a height of 792 feet. In the late 1920s, there was a competition between developers in Manhattan to construct the tallest skyscraper. 40 Wall Street in the financial district and the Chrysler Building in Midtown were both being constructed at the same time, and at one time or another, they were both the tallest structures in the world during construction. In October 1929, the Chrysler Building erected a secret spire in a matter of 90 minutes, topping the building off at 1,046 feet. 40 Wall Street was officially completed on May 1st, 1930, and the Chrysler Building was officially completed on May 27th. So technically, 40 Wall Street was the tallest completed building in the world for 27 days. Also, the Chrysler Building became the first 1,000 plus feet skyscraper in the world. But its title didn't last long, as 1 year later, on April 11, 1931, the Empire State Building, topping off at 1,250 feet, became the world's tallest building. The Empire State Building proved to be special for two reasons. It was constructed in only a matter of 13 months, and it remained the tallest building in the world for 39 years. In 1970, One World Trade Center, one of the two Twin Towers, peaked at 1,368 feet, and in 1971, Tower 2 topped off at 1,362 feet. Both of the World Trade Center towers opened fully by January of 1972, but only 2 years later, the Willis Tower, previously known as the Sears Tower in Chicago, was completed and achieved becoming the tallest building in the world at a height of 1,451 feet. It remained the tallest building in the world for 25 years. On September 11, 2001, the World Trade Center Twin Towers and its other buildings were destroyed by a terrorist attack. After a large recovery operation, construction of a new World Trade Center complex commenced in 2006, and in May of 2013, One World Trade Center was completed, topping off at a height of 1,776 feet and making it the tallest skyscraper in the Western Hemisphere. Other than New York City and Chicago, other cities with 1,000 plus feet skyscrapers include Philadelphia's Comcast Technology Center, Atlanta's Bank of America Plaza, San Francisco's Salesforce Building, Los Angeles' US Bank Tower, and Houston's JP Morgan Chase Tower. There is an ambitious proposal to construct a 1,907 feet skyscraper in Oklahoma City, named the Legends Tower. If constructed, it will be a multi-purpose tower and will be the tallest building in the US and the Western Hemisphere. It has been approved by the Oklahoma City Planning Board as well as the City Council, and construction should commence soon. However, there has been criticism of building such a tower, such as a lack of density in Oklahoma City, tornado risk, and the overall demand for such a large project. Asia is the continent with the most skyscrapers by a significant margin. Driven by rapid urbanization and economic growth, countries like China, South Korea, Malaysia, and Middle Eastern nations such as Saudi Arabia and the UAE have become skyscraper hubs. The tallest skyscraper in the world is in Asia, the Burj Khalifa, in Dubai, which is in the UAE. Construction of this massive megatall mixed-use skyscraper began in 2004, and the building was completed in October 2009, reaching a height of 2,717 feet, more than a half-mile high. The building's design is inspired by Islamic architecture with a Y-shaped floor plan to optimize views and stability. The Burj Khalifa also broke records for having the tallest service elevator and the highest occupied floor in the world. Malaysia is also known for skyscrapers and was home to the tallest buildings in the world, the Petronas Towers, two twin towers completed in 1998. A unique sky bridge on the 41st and 42nd floors connect the twin towers, making it a popular tourist attraction and a symbol of Malaysia's modernization. The towers house offices, a shopping mall, and an observation deck with panoramic city views. The Petronas Towers were surpassed by Taipei 101 in Taiwan in 2004, measuring 1,667 feet. But China holds a record for the most skyscrapers globally, with over 2,900 buildings standing at least 492 feet. The Shanghai Tower, located in Shanghai's financial district, is China's tallest building, reaching a height of 2,073 feet with 128 floors. Completed in 2015, it's the second tallest building in the world after the Burj Khalifa. The tower's distinctive twisting design helps reduce wind load, enhancing its stability and energy efficiency. As a mixed-use skyscraper, the Shanghai Tower houses offices, hotels, and retail spaces, along with the world's highest observation deck at 1,840 feet. Its sustainable design includes a double-layered glass facade, advanced energy systems, and numerous green building technologies. Throughout Asia, more megatall skyscrapers are being constructed, and one that's set to shatter height records is the Jeddah Tower in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, which is planned to be a mixed-use skyscraper. Construction began in 2013, but progress has been recurrent due to financial and logistical challenges, causing delays. However, construction restarted in late 2023, and the tower is projected to be done in either 2028 or 2029, topping off at a height of 3,307 feet. Skyscrapers are powerful symbols of human ambition, technological progress, and urban evolution, tracing a fascinating journey from ancient structures like the Great Pyramid of Giza to modern architectural marvels like the Burj Khalifa and the upcoming Jeddah Tower. These towering structures not only define city skylines, but also embody the cultural and economic aspirations of regions around the world. From Europe's historical preservation challenges to Asia's booming skyscraper construction, each continent offers a unique perspective on high-rise architecture. As new projects continue to push the limits of height and design, skyscrapers remain a testament to our ever-evolving landscape, blending tradition with futuristic innovation across the globe. That concludes this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to leave your feedback, please do so in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoy geography, both physical and human geography, you like the content on this channel, so be sure to subscribe to my channel, Our World, Our Planet, Our Home. Until next time!